What's really going on behind the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook? Why did the two suddenly move away after so many years together? And why did Bang Si-hyuk, CEO of HYBE, finally vote? Amid the speculation flooding the K-pop world, a shocking revelation from Bang Si-hyuk could change everything. What did he reveal about Taehyung and Jungkook that we never expected before? Don't miss the big surprise that will unravel this mystery. Ban HYUK reveals the truth. What happened to Taehyung and Jungkook? In the world of K-pop, where an idol's every move and word can be a topic of conversation for days on end, the relationship between BTS members is always in the spotlight. However, the past few months have brought a lot of speculation and questions without clear answers. What really happened between the two closest members, Taehyung and Jungkook? A relationship that once seemed like an unshakable friendship is now increasingly plagued by unpleasant news. And now, Bang Si-hyuk, the CEO of HYBE, has finally revealed what really happened. For BTS fans, hearing the name Bang Si-hyuk must be familiar. He is a figure who has directed BTS's career journey to the peak of world glory. However, who would have thought that he would now have to deal with no less big questions than what he usually answers about the future of this group? And Bang Si-hyuk's answer this time might surprise us all. But before we go deeper, let's go back to the beginning. It all started with an unexpected moment, an event that raised more questions than answers. How could the seemingly inseparable relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook change so quickly? What's going on behind the scenes that we don't know? Why did Taehyung and Jungkook move away? For BTS fans, the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook is one of the proudest. They look like two real friends who cannot be separated. Each of their performances together on stage or behind the scenes is always full of harmony and such strong chemistry. Lately, however, something feels different. Rumors began to circulate that their relationship was experiencing tension. Of course, these speculations immediately attracted attention. Many wonder, are there any problems between them? Why do they seem to be moving away? And why, after so many years together, do the two seem to be seen interacting with each other less often? There are many theories circulating, ranging from personal problems to tensions in group dynamics. However, one thing that cannot be denied is the fact that their relationship, which was once very close, is now beginning to undergo changes that cannot be ignored. Bang Si-hyuk opens voice. The hidden truth. After months of speculation, Bang Si-hyuk finally reveals the truth that has been hidden. In a rare interview recently conducted, HYBE's CEO revealed a shocking fact that shocked the entire K-pop world. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and it's not just about BTS, but about the world bigger than that. Sometimes, changes in personal relationships are not only influenced by internal factors of the group, but also by outside pressures that we may not see, Bang Si-hyuk said in a serious and meaningful tone. What is seen in front of the camera is only a small part of the true reality. However, what is meant by the outside pressure mentioned by Bang Si-hyuk? Is there something bigger than just personal issues affecting Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship? Bang Si-hyuk gives only vague clues, but one thing is clear. What we see on the surface may only be part of a more complex story, revealing dramatic changes in BTS dynamics. Bang Si-hyuk continued by discussing the dynamics within the group. Every BTS member has a very rewarding personal journey, and they all struggle with the pressure that can't be avoided. This is part of their process of growing as individuals as well as a group. But is this really just a personal matter that they have to deal with? What's deeper going on behind it all? Is the tension between Taehyung and Jungkook more than a minor problem that can be resolved with time? Some observers believe that there may be a hidden rivalry between the two, although the two have always appeared to support each other in public. However, is it possible that this rivalry has finally given rise to tensions that can no longer be hidden? Or are there other factors that cause the difference between them? Unexpected surprise. Taehyung and Jungkook talk. As the speculation began to mount, a big surprise came from Taehyung and Jungkook themselves. These two idols, who had previously chosen to remain silent about their personal problems, finally gave their statements in a live broadcast that surprised fans. "As you already know, we're all going through a lot," Taehyung said in a soulful tone. "However, the two of us, Jungkook and I, support each other in ways that others might not be able to understand." Jungkook, who rarely talks about personal matters, added, "We are more than just friends or group members. We are brothers. We know that not everything is always easy, but we are always there for each other." However, behind these words, there was something deeper that they did not reveal. Do they really support each other? Or is there something more that they hide from the public? What exactly happened? A surprise that has not yet been revealed, many wonder. Do Taehyung and Jungkook's confessions really describe the real situation? Or is it a bigger reality that they are still hiding? What is really going on behind the scenes that makes the two, who were once so close, now have to deal with so many challenges in their relationship? Even after the statement, BTS fans still felt an untold tension, and big questions remained hanging in the air. Will their relationship return to normal, or will this change be an irreversible turning point? Undeniably, the world of K-pop has witnessed BTS' long journey filled with incredible moments, and in their every move, there is tension and struggle that is not always visible to the public eye. Now, after some time has passed, one thing is clear. The split or change in the relationship between two BTS icons, Taehyung and Jungkook, is a drama that has disturbed many fans' hearts. However, Bang Si-hyuk's statement invites more question marks. "The entertainment world often hides more stories than it has ever seen," he said meaningfully. That sentence evokes our awareness that Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship, which has been so deeply intertwined on stage, was not merely the result of a personal match. There were other layers that had been hidden all along, layers that could only be opened if the courage showed up, just like Bang Si-hyuk was doing now. Could these differences stem from the huge demands placed on them as individuals and as BTS members? If so, how does that play into their relationship? And more importantly, is the pressure they are facing now something they are able to handle together, or is it exacerbating the distance between them, unraveling a deeper secret? Is there someone in control? Bang Si-hyuk, despite giving a hint-filled interview, doesn't fully reveal everything that's going on behind the scenes. However, there is growing speculation, and not without reason. During this time, HYB, as a big company behind BTS, did have a very strong control over every aspect of the lives of its members, especially in maintaining the image and relationships within the group. Many have asked, is there pressure from the management to separate or better control the interaction between Taehyung and Jungkook? In an entertainment industry that is full of power games and public image, it is not impossible for a third party to influence their closeness. In fact, if we recall several times the statements coming from BTS members that indirectly imply their desire to take time for themselves, does all of this also have something to do with how they are managed by HYB? On one previous occasion, Taehyung had said, "We each have feelings that can't always be explained in words." The statement sounded more profound than it impressed. Could this not be a sign that there may be something more complex than just competition or differences in the way of seeing life? Jungkook, who has always seemed more reserved in discussing personal feelings, also recently provided a clue that adds to the puzzle. Outside of the stage, we are not just BTS members, but ordinary human beings with feelings, which sometimes cannot be understood by others. This statement opens up space for a big question. Do they now really feel trapped in the image formed by the company, or is this an internal struggle that they themselves face? Unexpected losses. Will they return as they were? This change in relationship reminds us of something we often overlook: the mental and emotional exhaustion experienced by K-pop idols. Behind the spotlight, success, and praise, there is a price to pay. Taehyung and Jungkook may be two incredible figures on stage, but as Bang Si-hyuk revealed, they also have to face personal dilemmas and feelings that cannot be seen from the outside. As I've said before, every BTS member has to struggle with different aspects of their lives, both as a person and as part of the group. Bang Si-hyuk continued, holding back his emotions. There are times when that tension has to be faced, not just with others, but with oneself. behind those words, there was a revelation that invited more questions. Have Taehyung and Jungkook reached a point where their closeness is no longer enough to cope with the pressure coming from different directions? How do they deal with the fact that the world sees them as the perfect couple, while in reality, they are two individuals struggling with their own challenges? And this is what makes the hearts of the ARMY think. Will we see the two again as they were, like inseparable Friday?